Can I talk?
Yes, you may begin.
First of all, I want to talk about two places, and one of them is in Turkey, is in my country, and this place is Bodrum, and Bodrum is the west part of Turkey, and it has a lot of coastal areas, for example, seasides, and like another things. And we went to uh, approximately uh, 2 years ago in summer, and second of them in abroad in Milano, in Italy, and there are many cocktail bars, for instance, in Milano, and I can say I'm keen on football since my childhood, and Milano is not a football city. However, when before I go there, I suppose that it's a very big football city and it's a very famous with their football teams. But when I uh, went to Milano, I aware that it is not uh, that, and uh, yeah, I can say those.
Okay, all right. That's it. You want to stop here?
What?
And that's it. You want to stop here? Do you want to stop here?
No. What? I don't know meaning of stopper.
Okay, I'm saying that. Do you want to stop here? Is that what you? Is that your answer?
Huh,
Yes or
huh.
no?
Okay.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah.
All right, wonderful. Let me just put down your score. By the way, let me give you a compliment that your coherence, your grammar was really good as compared to your part one. Trust me, your coherence and your grammar was really good right now in part two. However, you were not able to answer me all the questions and you were taking a lot of time and there were some pauses. But the way your ideas were, let's say, placed, so it was phenomenal as compared to part one's performance, to be honest.
Mhm.
All right, that's it. Now let's get to part number three, and we're going to be having the same three questions from part three as well. Okay, so now this is going to be about teaching history as a subject at school. All right, and just
Mhm.
for and just for your record, Yusuf, let me just remind you this thing that in part three, what you have to do is that you have to answer based on some facts, some figures, some rational examples, or maybe some real life examples, right? However, don't worry, the examiner is not concerned with the actual content that you're speaking, but he is in fact concerned with your coherence, fluency, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. These parts, right? So don't worry about the
Mhm.
content itself, okay? All right,
Mhm.
let's give it a try. Question number one. How were you taught history when you were at school?
Sorry, my connection is weak. I didn't hear. Again, please.
Sure. Uh, Let me just copy paste all the three questions there in your chat box that when I say them, you have them in front of you. Okay. So
Okay.
now question number one says that uh, how were you taught history when you were at school?
Uh, Frankly, I'm not good at history when I was in school, but I can say a few things related to this. For instance, uh, maybe some books, some influential books encouraged me to uh, taught the history uh, to another persons, and uh, I think, yeah, I can say this.
All right, very well. I'm going to put down the score over here. Okay, question number two. Can you tell me this thing that are there other ways people can learn about history apart from at school? If yes, then what are those ways? How?
Uh, to be honest, to be honest, there are many ways to learn history outside of the schools. For example, and most powerful of them is, I think, seeing new historical places. For instance, uh, when I was child, I wandered uh, United Kingdom, and I went to United Kingdom with my family, and from my perspective, uh, this solution is so impressive, and uh, indeed, there are many solution to solve this problem. This effective way to learn it is, uh, I said that.
All right. Well, we're done today's test, and no, sorry, there's one more. I'm extremely sorry. There is one more. Let me put down the score. All right. Okay. Now let's come to the last question. So tell me this thing that do you think will do you think that history will still be a school subject in the future? Are they gonna still keep history as a school subject in future? If yes, then why? If no, then why not? Please.
Uh, I think this is a very, very controversial question. For example, although many people in my country want that history cannot be a school subject in the next future, but I'm not a big fan of this view because, as I mentioned, go and see somewhere is a very effective solution to solve this issue, but many people cannot do it due to maybe economical factors because going to foreign countries are so costly events, and for this reason, if you cannot go to this wandered area, these historical places, the most effective way to learn that is, I think, school subjects, because uh, history in schools learn many things related to this, I think.
Okay. All right. All right. So now allow me to share my screen and let's talk a little bit about it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. So now check this out. Let's look at our final score. So our final score is somewhere around 5.4. Okay, it is somewhere around 5.4. And what is your requirement, by the way?
5.5.
5.5. Okay, but let me tell you something. Because I know this thing very well that you can do even better than this. To be really honest, Yusuf. Now, see, the way you responded me in part number two was really good. However, you were not able to finish it. You were definitely not able to finish it. I have just scored you based on the way you were speaking, the kind of points that you told me. But now this is not a good thing. This is definitely a good thing that you were able to use discourse markers, words like for instance, however, on the other hand, so these were really good words, and the way your ideas were, let's say, very in a sequence. They were spoken out by you in such a sequence that it was appreciable, right? But at the same time, let me tell you this thing that when it comes to the timing and time management and making sure that you answer all those questions within the given time, so this counts a lot. Okay, otherwise examiner can entirely cancel out your part two. And what was the score that you got in the previous test in speaking? Can you tell me that?
5.
Five. Okay, you were just left with point 0.5, right? And to be really honest, if I would have considered that the candidate was not able to respond in the time, then of course I wouldn't have given you any score over here. And if that was a situation, let's say if that was a situation, so let me copy and paste these numbers right here, and let's say that, oops, sorry. Okay, let's say 6.55, 6.5, 6.57. Okay, so let's say if on the basis of the IELTS criteria, when you were not able to answer me, so I would have given you, let's say, 0 and zeroed out everything. So technically your score was 3.3. but this part 2 somehow kind of saved you from that bad situation. So let's work on that. Now let's talk about each question in detail, and then we will conduct another session, okay, right now, in which after every answer I will tell you that, okay, this is not a right answer, but this answer could have been better in that way. And you can, if you want to record this class, you can record on your end as well, maybe on a phone or whatever you want to. Okay, so now I hope you can see these questions at the left side of your screen, at the left at the top, right? And here are the comments. See, I've been noticing for every question different comments, right? So now let's talk about question number 1. Are your friends mostly your age or different ages? Started with actually. You kind of started your answer with actually. All right. Candidate said hi instead of elder than me. Now when you had to tell me this thing, that those friends which are in your neighborhood, they are elder than you. So instead of saying that we use the word elder adjective, you said the word high. They are high in age than me. So high is not appropriate vocabulary to employ over here, but instead you should have said elder. Okay? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Yusuf, it will be highly appreciated if you can take notes, or maybe record this lecture, record this class, right? Okay. Yeah, because there are a lot of things that I'll be telling you. Okay. Now let's come to this one. Student was hesitant while answering the question. Now I believe that you were, let's say, stucking a lot in between. Now, as compared to part 2, in part 2 there was one good thing, that you were not stopping in between. You had ideas to speak about it, and which was amazing. And the way you were going from one point to another to the third point, right? So it was really good. It was commendable. Now let's come to question number 2. Do you usually see your friends during the week or at the weekends, and why? Now over here, okay, in the first you got how many score? 4, 4, 5, 4 in coherence, 4 in fluency, 5 in grammar, 4 in vocabulary, and 7 in pronunciation. I didn't have any problem with your pronunciation so far, but yeah, there was some problem over here. That's why I've given you 5.5 in pronunciation, right? So that was something. Now let's come to question number 2. In question number 2, your answer was pretty okay, but you started with from my perspectives. From my perspective. Okay. Now see, do you usually see your friends during the week or at the weekends? Now it's a very close-ended. So in English, also let's say, in general, we have 2 types of questions. Open-ended questions, closed-ended questions. Closed-ended questions are those questions which are directly asking about information from you. And that is, let's say, within your, that information is really specific, right? And then you have open-ended questions, where you can use the words in my perspective, in my opinion, I think, I guess, right? Something that you have to maybe create, okay? Maybe you have to be a little bit creative when it comes to speaking, right? But over here, it's asking about a very specific information about you. So starting with from my perspective, oh, they're not asking your perspective, they're asking about you specifically, right? So do you usually see your friends during the weekend? So you could have started your answer by saying that or maybe let's say you could have started it actually depends, or maybe you could have said that it's very subjective, or maybe it varies, or maybe let's say it really depends on my schedule. When I'm in my vacations, I usually like to see my friends not on every weekend, but instead every other day. However, when it comes that I'm busy with my studies or I'm at my university, so I rather prefer to meet with them on the weekends instead of seeing them every other day. That's it, right? So,
Okay.
yeah, and then you said another works. Instead of another works, use the word chores. Chores we usually say for the works, like, things, the works related to home, house, right? Maybe sometimes you have to go with your father to buy some grocery or stuff, right? So chores is the right word. Then has to do in these weeks, week. Now there was a sentence where you said has to do in these weeks, which I totally didn't understand. Used on the other hand, good. Now see, I have marked this as a good. Now this is a good approach. On the other hand, when you said on the other hand, so this is good. At least you have learned the discourse markers, which is very good, right? And that's why. That is why I have given you 5 over here in the grammar. and let's say 6 in the vocabulary. I've given you 6 here in the vocabulary because you were using really good discourse markers. Now let's come to question number 3. The last time you saw your friends, what did you do together? The last time you saw your friends, what did you do together? Right? Okay. So the last time you saw your friends, what did you do together? Now this is how you answer this question. Number 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Unlike, you started with unlike, which is a very good way to start. Like you used a kind of discourse marker. Unlike my other friends, like not exactly like my other friends, but different than that. Transition was not clear to another sentence. Now after that, when you were telling me about something other than that, that was not clear. Coffees or cafes? When you were saying me to the coffee, so what were you saying? You were saying coffees, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but instead of coffees, you can say cafe or coffee cafes or just cafes, right?
What's the true pronunciation of cafes?
Cafe, cafe. We usually say cafe. So some people say cafe, but the proper pronunciation is cafe.
Okay.
All right. Hello. Should I continue?
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. All right. So then gaming areas or arcades. So arcade is a proper word when you are talking about going to the gaming areas, playing games. Arcade or
1 minute.
arcades.
Again, my connection is not.
Okay. All right. How about now? How about now? Hello? Are you there?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Are you there?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Wonderful.
can.
Wonderful. So instead of saying gaming areas, you can just simply say arcades or gaming zones, or uh, I think arcades will be much better. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the places where people usually go to game, especially digital games, right? And then comes the last, then comes the last question. In what ways are your friends important to you? In what ways are your friends important to you? Right? Now, you said that it is a very tough question. I think it's a very tough question. You see, you should say the phrase "I think" in the very beginning, not at the end. Okay? I think it's a very tough question. It's a very
Mhm.
tough question. I think it's proper that if you use it in the really beginning, so that's much appropriate, right? In my life or in my lifestyle. You so we were saying that in my lifestyle since childhood. No, in my life, simple life, not lifestyle. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So candidate was repeating the information. So what I personally understood was that you were kind of repeating the same information again and again, again and again. You were not giving me something new, a new data to think about to score you at. So that's why you got 4, 5, 5.5, 5, and 7. Now over here in part 2. Now in part 2, these are all the comments for part 2. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, this is part 2. Used discourse markers, first of all. Now you started your answer with first of all. Very good, very good. Candidate is coherent with his ideas. Your ideas were straight, like a sharp razor blade. For instance, however, employed in his speech, very good. Candidate was not able to complete his answer in 2 minutes. Less information was given. Less information was given. That means that you were not able to answer me. Kind of maybe some questions. You missed on some questions. Okay. So in the very first, your information was
How
given.
many minutes it sustained?
You sustained. I closed my timer, but it was not more than, let's say, 1 minute and 20 seconds or 10 seconds. You're still left with a lot of time. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, yeah, buddy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Get back. Okay, so now let's come to part number 3. Now this part was really not good as compared to part number 1 as well. Uh, Here, the first one was like used to, okay, here there were a lot of, okay, this is something that I've noticed, that when you speak, you do a lot of pauses, like, so if you do a little bit, it's okay, it's acceptable. But if you keep on repeating, saying, so it's gonna get difficult for you. All right. Now there were pauses. So some
Mm-hmm.
books, some influential books, okay, some books, some influential books, okay, taught history, some other persons. Your sentences were not making sense. Yeah, I can say this. Now, in the end, you cannot say this. That yeah, I can say this. You literally ended your answer by saying yeah, I can say this. No, don't do that. Actually, it passes a reflection to the examiner, or kind of impression to the examiner, that you kind of, let's say, repeating the information, or you are out of the ideas. If you want to end the answer, end it with confidence, and I'll tell you how. Started with to be honest. Okay, so don't start with to be honest. It's very informal. Okay, most powerful of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for example, when it comes to question number 2, are there any other ways people can learn about history apart from school? So for those ways, you were saying, yeah, there are powerful ways. Okay, powerful ways, but what are those powerful ways, right? Wondered. Okay, so this was a
Mm-hmm.
pronunciation mistake. So the right pronunciation for this word, Yusuf, will be wondered. Wondered.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The candidate didn't provided me the actual ways, but just repeated the question. So, and this is for part question number 2. Are there other ways people can learn about history apart from at school? If yes, then how? So, I didn't understood that you provided me new ways, but you were kind of, yes, there are new ways, there are powerful ways, there can be. You were telling me about a possibility that yeah, there can be, uh, or there could be, but not actually provided me the ways, right? So therefore, I given you
Mm-hmm.
4.5, 4, 4, 4.5, and 5.5. And then exactly the same score for the last one. This one I also didn't notice anything, but there's last 1 point the candidate did not completed compliment that the candidate did complimented the question. Now this means that this is a good thing, by the way, that you complimented the question, that this is a tough question. So this is a way to compliment the examiner about the question, which is a good approach. But if you are not able to make the examiner understand, so it's not going to work in that way. Now you tell me, do you have time right now to have another session, or should I tell you the answers for this one only, or explain you the way that how you can answer? Shall we conduct another session right now, or do you just want me to tell you the way of answering? What are the things that you need to keep in mind when you answer?
Okay, I can hear you. No.
Okay, so I was asking a question, that do you have a time, do you have some time to conduct another session, another test, or I should just tell you the how to answer? What is the way of answer?
I have not a lot of time today, but we will make tomorrow again.
Okay,
Uh,
tomorrow, yeah,
and
Yusuf, tomorrow I'm having a couple of classes already. I probably, yeah, tomorrow I have 2 classes already. So let's make it Wednesday, day after tomorrow. Is it okay?
okay, so Wednesday.
Wednesday, yes. Tomorrow's Tuesday, then Wednesday. Wednesday we can meet.
Okay.
Wonderful, wonderful, perfect. So, one thing I would just like to tell you over here, and that is that when it comes to answer, now I've noticed this thing, that when it comes to long answers, you answer good, but when it comes to short answers, you're kind of stuck. So, see, the simplest approach when it comes to answer these questions is that uh, have you know, have a structure in your mind that what information you need to provide and how long information you need to provide, like how long the answer should be or how short the answer should be, right? For instance, if the question is that are your friends mostly your age or different ages? Now, because this is part one, okay, this is part one, so you don't have to give extremely detailed answer or even a medium answer. Maybe a short answer or maybe a medium answer is enough. For instance, if somebody asks me this
Mm-hmm.
question that are your friends mostly of your age or different ages? So I might respond to them that the way you responded, that your friends are usually elders. So I can say that that's an interesting question. So since my childhood, I have always kept friends who are elder than me because I was not very much into my friends when it comes to making friends at class. But on the other hand, I was more interested to be friends with the people here in my neighborhood because I could meet with them every day at evening. And at school, it's really difficult to communicate with friends, knowing this thing that you have to study and be focused in the classroom. Now, see,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
a little bit information, but it was structured. There was a structure that I was telling, right? So maybe
Mm-hmm.
we can say, so this is how, and then maybe let's talk about question number two. Do you usually see your friends during the week or at weekends? Why? This answer I already gave you, but let me repeat my answer. Uh, you can say that, well, it depends. If I'm at my vacations, I choose to meet with them every other day because throughout the year I'm extremely busy, and at some times while my studies are going on, I'm not even able to meet with them at the weekends. So in my vacations, I try to enjoy with them as much as I can,
Mm-hmm.
right? So to answer this question exactly, you can also add one more point. So I usually meet with them every once fortnightly, every once fortnightly, or maybe I meet with them fortnightly. When you say the word fortnightly, that means once in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. So coming to the third question, right? So the time, uh, the time you saw your friends, what did you do together? The last time you saw your friends, what did you do together? So this question could be can be answered in a very, let's say, candid form. Let's say if I was at your place and if this question was asked from me by the examiner, I should have said that wow, it's really difficult to recall. But what I can tell you is that we actually went on a dinner party with my friends. And whenever we are together, I like to play arcade. We like to play arcade games. For example, it's PlayStation or any old school Atari games. So after dinner, we went to play some arcade games. And my friend has a car. We went on a little bit drive, and then we got back home. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
being specific, because I think what is happening. I think personally that what is happening with you is that when it comes that a question is being asked from you, you get confused. That, oh my God, there are so many things that I have to tell, right? So
Mm-hmm.
can you
Yeah.
can you tell me, Yusuf, what exactly happens with you? Because I need to understand that what problem happens when anybody asks you these questions. What is the first thing comes in your mind, or what is your strategy to answer?
I think the main problem, uh, my main problem is I'm working to be very complex, but sometimes it confuse many things.
Exactly, exactly. So the lesson from here, the lesson we can learn from here is that it's not always necessary to provide, you know, very much information, right? Maybe sometimes you can keep it short. Keep it
Yeah, I
short, right?
understand.
Keep it short, wallahi, keep it till the point. That's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I also tell my students this thing that if you think that it's difficult for you to provide information, no problem, wallahi. Only provide one or two examples in every answer. Just like do you have friends of your age or different ages? For example, the first question, right? So if I think about providing only two example or one example, here you go. I usually have friends elder than me, and the reason why is that so because I usually don't get mixed up with my classmates. Number one, and number two is that I feel very comfortable making friends in my neighborhood. And one more thing is that it's really difficult for me to mix up with my friends at school because of studies. So I only provided two examples over here. That's it. Not more than that. And I did not
Mm-hmm.
provide anything other than out of my world, within my world. Last tip is that uh, when it comes to speak in any kind of exam, right? Whether it's IELTS or any kind of speaking exam, you try to look into your own life. Use personal life examples. Why, Yusuf? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's easier to imagine your own life and to look back in the memory. Wallahi, it's easy. Instead of
Mm-hmm.
thinking and creating something new. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I'm not gonna, let's say, take more of your time, and inshallah, hopefully, we are gonna meet on Wednesday, and so do keep these things in mind. Inshallah, I'll remind you as well. And on
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday, after every answer, I'm not gonna take score. Maybe I'll note a couple of things, not score, but noting. And then after every answer, I'm not gonna give you review in the end of the lesson, but after every question, I'm gonna give you a review of your answer. That okay,
Mm,
this,
okay.
yeah, Yusuf, this could be this correct. This could be correct in this way. So because you have,
Yeah, it can be better for me.
yeah, because mashallah, you have already scored 5 bands in the IELTS, right? You just need five more. But why to only target those point 0.5 when you can do 6.5 or maybe 7? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful, wonderful. And are you reading? Are you reading every day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay,
And saw reading mock test uh, again, and yeah.
okay. Why I'm saying reading? Why I'm saying reading? There's a reason. Not only IELTS reading, read anything. Because it's
Mm-hmm.
about that when you know whenever we go to gym, whenever we go to gym for exercise, right, we always start with the smaller weight, right, and then
Yeah.
and it's called what, warm up. We are warming up our body up. So when you are going to read English text every day with your mouth, with your jaws, so
Mm-hmm.
you are actually kind of warming up yourself to speak a foreign language.
Mm-hmm.
Wallahi, English is not my language as well. But, and that's why when I keep on speaking English for a longer period of time, I get hurt. I feel hurt over here. Because it's not my language. I am more comfortable in my language. You're more comfortable in speaking in Turkiye, in Turkish, right? So it's just to warm up yourself. So, yep, that's pretty much it for today.
When you learned English as well?
Well, that's a good question. So, in my country, in Pakistan, English, it's part of curriculum from kindergarten till
Yeah.
you go to university. So that's naturally in our courses. And well, so we have been learning English every year since in our classrooms till our 12th grade, even in university as well. It was a very small subject, but it was my personal interest as well to speak in English.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
personal interest as well to speak in English. And so the more you talk, the more you speak, the more you talk, the better you get. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, that's pretty much it. And about the grammar, trust me, I learned grammar naturally by listening and by reading. I have not learned grammar, let's say, by reading huge thick ass books, of course not. But yeah, when I have to teach at school, because I'm a teacher at school as well, so I have to, let's say, go through the lectures of the grammar as well. So I need to study sometimes.
Mm, okay.
And very natural ways. Trust me, I've learned English very natural ways, like listening songs, watching Hollywood movies. And whenever I listen to songs and watch
Eh,
Hollywood movies, I used to, repeat the dialogues or maybe sing the song sometimes. Rap music. Any rappers?
no.
Rappers like Eminem, Drake, Lil Wayne, these Hollywood rappers.
Huh. Yeah, I'm not interested as well, but uh, when I start to learn English, uh, I try to I try to uh, I try to listen or seeing them.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, it's up to you. Whatever the way works best for you. It's not necessary. So, okay. By the way, did I told you that there is a one feature that you can use in your phone as well to type the messages? I think I told you last time. Or no?
What?
Uh,
I can understand.
yeah. So, can you tell me that how do you type messages to your friends when it comes to typing messages to them on WhatsApp or on phone? Do you type in Turkish or English?
Yeah, I'm type English.
English, okay. So instead of typing, have you ever tried to speak your messages and it types for you automatically?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's something that you can, practice, and it's really important. It's really helpful. For instance, this is my phone right here, and I open WhatsApp, and let's say I go to my communications, Yusuf, Turkey student, right? So now I know this thing that I can type easily, right? But if you have an iPhone or an Android, so there's a microphone right here. Click at the microphone. I'm sorry, Yusuf, I won't be available today because I have a meeting with my another school student. So shall we meet tomorrow? Question mark. Well, the message is already typed for me. So try this practice as well. Try to type your messages,
Hmm.
speak your messages, and it's gonna type for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, very small, small, tiny things, but these all things help you together.
Yeah, I understand.
Wonderful. All right, buddy. Then inshallah, see you on Wednesday.
Okay, and I have one question. Have you any vocabulary list to get high score for
Okay.
studying?
Okay. Well, I don't have any particular vocabulary list at the moment. Did I give you discourse markers list?
Uh, Maybe I don't remember.
Check, see if I have given you the list of discourse markers because I don't remember. Yes, I have sent you.
Okay.
Remember this list? This list.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. This list and list of conjunctions, and then relative pronouns, and then another and more discourse markers. So this is the list which is going to be helpful for you in this case. These are the lists, and because you see, uh, when it comes to speaking, there are there could be variety of vocabulary, right? But I can send you another list. Let me work on another list. Let me make another one, and I'll send you on WhatsApp that some words that you can have in your mind for later on.
Okay, and can you send me today's feedback after the class? Okay.
The score and the entire comments that I was writing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure, I can do that. I'll send you on WhatsApp right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Yusuf. Bye bye. Catch you soon.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye bye.